Hello. Good evening, or good morning, whatever time you are watching this video. Welcome. My name is Alma Nancy. I go by Alma the CPA. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant, okay, which means that I am certified to help the public when it comes to different accounting needs. Now, being a CPA is one of the things that I'm so very proud of, right? It's actually the highest level that you can achieve in the field of accountancy. Right now, you actually have to have your master's degree to even be able to sit to take the exam. Okay, just so you guys know. So I'm more than qualified to be sharing this information with you, but also I am very proud to be one of the members, right? And I've been here since the very beginning of this amazing movement called Nove Money, right? So welcome. If you are watching this broadcast and someone probably shared it with you so you can see how to adjust your W-4. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. Again, I'm Alma the CPA. Okay. If you have any questions after you watch this video, then definitely get back with the person that shared it with you. If they cannot help you, then they can put you in touch with me, or you can definitely feel free to reach out to me directly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the W-4 so you can see it. Right over my face. Okay, because this is what you guys really want to see, right? Is this W-4 and how you can adjust it. Now, this is the 2019 W-4. You can actually Google it or go right to the IRS website, irs.gov, and it's right there. Okay. Couple things I want to point out before we get started. The purpose. Wait. I always do that because I have to go to the actual form to highlight. Okay, the purpose. You want to complete the form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. Consider completing a new form W-4 each year and when your personal or financial situation changes. So somebody shared this video with you because more than likely you have joined our amazing movement, which means that you have a home-based business, which means that you qualify for way more tax deductions. And it also means that your personal and your financial situation is changing. So according to the IRS, you want to go ahead and adjust this form. Second thing I want to point out is right here. Okay, exemption from withholding. Now, a lot of times we will claim exempt when we are not actually exempt from filing taxes. So you may claim, according to the IRS, you may claim exemption from withholding for 2019 if both of the following apply. Okay. For 2018, you had the right to a refund of all federal income tax withheld because you had no tax liability. And for 2019, you expect a refund of all federal income tax withheld because you expect to have no tax liability. So if somebody shared this video with you and you are like, well, I'm claiming exempt already, and those two situations do not apply, you definitely want to watch this video, properly adjust your W-4, and submit it to your employer as soon as possible. I cannot tell you how many people come to me at tax time and they want me to just double check their taxes. They want me to really verify or confirm that they owe the IRS thousands of dollars. And the first thing that I look at is their W-2, and I'll ask them, why did you only pay $600 in federal income tax? Why did you only pay $1,500? Why did you only pay $2,500 or whatever it is? You know, because the thing is, we all have to pay taxes, but we just want to go about it the right way. And we definitely don't want to owe the IRS at the end of the year, right? We really want to make sure that we adjust this properly so that we don't owe them at the end of the year, and then also that they don't owe us. And if they owe us, it's not a crazy amount of money, because remember, when you get your refund, excluding like earned income credit and stuff like that, when you get your refund, that's just your money coming back to you. So if you think about it, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for you to overpay the IRS during the year and then you're struggling living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you have all this credit card debt that you can pay off. Or even if you don't, maybe you just want to double up on some of your bills. Maybe you want to double up on your mortgage payment, double up on your car note, but you can't because you're paying extra money to the IRS. Okay, so you always want to remember that your refund is just the money coming back to you. Okay, so now we're going to move right along. I don't want to keep you guys here too long going through this form. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, this form right here, this is the bottom part of the form. Some employers will require that you actually fill this out, sign it, and submit it to your HR department. Some employers may only require you to log in using like your personal identification number that the job gives you, log into your human resources department and update it there. Whichever is required, you still want to keep this form for your records, right? And the applicable worksheets that we're going to go through. So when you need to adjust it again, you can make sure that you know what you did the first time, and then you know what you're adjusting it to. Because the worst thing is to adjust it thinking that you're going to see more money and then you're actually seeing less money. So you make sure that you keep this worksheet. Okay, more directions. Okay, here we go. Worksheet. First thing you want to do is you want to enter a number 1 for yourself. That's what the A says, enter number 1 for yourself. This is always a misconception when you go to your human resources department. A lot of times they just say, oh, well, how many kids do you have? You say, I have 2 kids. And then they say, okay, well, put a 2, right? Or people may tell you, oh, put 0 so they can take the maximum out and make sure you get a refund. But like we just discussed, you don't want to get a refund if you can use that money and put it to better use during the year. So I jumped a little bit ahead. For these purposes, we're going to assume that this is a single mom, okay, with 2 children. A single mom with 2 children. Now, I'll still go through the entire form and then you fill it out as it applies to your personal situation. Okay, the letter B. Enter 1 if you are filing married, filing jointly. Okay, so in our case, she is single. She is not married, so we're going to put a 0. If you were married and filing a joint tax return at the end of the year, then you would put a number 1 there. C. Enter number 1 if you file head of household. So now we're going to say 1, she's filing head of household. Now let me explain the head of household, okay? Head of household means that you have a qualified dependent. And according to the IRS, what is a qualified dependent? A qualified dependent means that you are paying more than it or 50% or more of their upkeep and they live with you for the year. Okay, then that qualifies you as head of household. Now, if you have somebody that, let's say you have a roommate and your name is on the lease and they work and you work, that does not make you head of household just because your name is on the lease. Okay, so again, for you to be head of household, you have a qualified dependent. Let's say you are a boyfriend, girlfriend type of relationship, or, you know, a couple, any type of couple relationship, and you make more money, right? So you're like, well, I'm head of household, but you guys don't have any qualifying dependents. Then that does not make you head of household. Head of household has nothing to do with who makes the most money, okay? So just throwing that out there. The letter D, you want to enter number 1 if you're single or married filing separately and have only 1 job, or if you're married filing jointly having only 1 job and your spouse doesn't work, or your wages from a second job or your spouse's wages or the total of both are less than or $1,500 or less. So in our case, she's single and she has one job. Okay, so we're going to put a number 1 right there. Moving right along. E, child tax credit. So your child tax credit, this is primarily for your children that your dependents that pass the dependency test, which means that they are living with you for more than half of the year. And for them to qualify for the child tax credit, they have to be 17 by the end of the tax year. Okay, 17 by the end of the tax year. So in our case, we'll just say that she has 2 younger ones, younger than 17. Okay, so for letter E, child tax credit, if your total income will be less than $71,201 or $103,351 if married, filing jointly, then you want to enter a 4 for each eligible child. Now, in our example, she has 2 children, and let's say she makes $70,000, okay? So 2 times 4 is 8. We'll put it 8, but let's go ahead and continue reading this. If your total income will be anywhere from $71,201 to $179,000, then you enter 2 for each eligible child. If your total income is from $179,000 to $200,000, then you will enter number 1. And if your income is higher than $200,400 married, filing jointly, then you enter 0. Okay, so far we are on the letter E. Okay, now for F, credit for other dependents. So what is other dependents? This is where our college kids fall into line. Okay, these are our kids that we are still taking care of, but they are over the age of 17, or they will be over the age of 17 by the end of the tax year. Okay, so credit for other dependents. These are kids, the college kids, right? So in our case, she has 2 little ones. But let's go ahead and read this one. So this won't apply for her. But let's say, okay, if your income will be less than $71,201, then you want to enter number 1 for each eligible dependent. If your total income will be $71,201 or $103,351 to $345 if married, filing jointly, then you want to enter number 1 for every 2 dependents. Okay, so now this one is a little bit tricky. Now remember, this is for your other dependents, not the same. You don't want to double count this. You don't want to include E and F. Okay, so this is the other dependents. So let's say in this example, you enter 1 for every 2 dependents. So if you only have 1 dependent that is 17 or older, then you would enter 0 because it's 1 for every 2. Now, if you have 2 or 3, then you enter number 1 because again, it's you enter number 1 for every 2 dependents. Okay, so that one is a little bit tricky. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and enter 0. Now, other credits. Okay, now these other credits, this is the letter G, right? For other credits, this is primarily like if you have any earned income credit and stuff like that, that would have been on your previous tax return, like your previous tax return, and you will know if you got a earned income credit or not. But if you are not sure of the other credits, then you can definitely go to your tax return, go to your 2018 tax return, and you'll be able to see there. Let me see, what line is that? Just go to your go to your 2018 tax return. 12 is the child tax credit, and then other taxes, 14. So go and look from lines 11 to 18. And if you have any other credits, then they'll be listed there. But 9 times out of 10, you won't have that. So we'll go ahead and put 0. If you do have this, right, then definitely review it, and then we can adjust it accordingly. Okay, so now H, you want to add up the total. So let's go back up to the top. So what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, right? 3 plus 8, we have 11. Okay, so we have 11. Now we are moving right along. Deductions and adjustments of additional income worksheet. So you want to, use this worksheet only if you plan to itemize your deductions or claim certain adjustments to your income. So in our case, because you're starting your home-based business, you will claim other adjustments to your income. So enter your estimate of your 2019 itemized deductions. Now, with the new tax law changes, a lot of people won't itemize their deductions because the IRS sets it up so that you can claim whatever is the greater amount, which will be either your itemized deductions or your standard deduction that they give you. But right now, since the standard deduction practically doubled, okay, the standard deduction practically doubled to a little over 12,000 for single, 18 over a little over 18 for head of household, then a lot of times you won't be able to itemize your deductions. However, what you want to do to double check this, if you think that you wrote off like your mortgage interest and stuff like that for your and you may want to do it again for 2019, you pull up your 2018 return and it's line number 8 on the 1040 if you had a regular 1040 last year. Okay, but in our case, we'll say she has 0 is the estimate. Okay, she's head of household. Why did that come out looking okay? Because that was the O. Okay, head of household is telling you right here what to enter in based on what you are filing. Okay, so in our case, she's claiming head of household, so it's telling us to enter in 18,350. Now you want to subtract line 2 from line 1. And since line 1 is 0, right? It says if it's 0 or less, then you enter 0 because you can't subtract 18,000 from a negative number. You would get less than 0. You would get a negative 18,000. So you want to go ahead and you put a 0 right here. So now number 4. Enter an estimate of your 2019 adjustments to income. Adjustments to income, qualified business income deductions, etc., etc. We won't include any adjustments to income, but what we will include yes. Adjustments to income. Enter your 2019 adjustments to income, qualified business income, and any other standard deduction for age or blindness. So in our case, what we're going to include here is our business deductions that we expect to get. So when you are just now starting off in the business, it's a safe bet to say that you can get about $10,000 in write-offs alone just from mileage, but it's totally dependent on you and how much you actually work the business. Okay. Remember that different things like traveling out of town and conferences and stuff like that is also a tax deduction. So for these purposes, we can say 15,000. Okay, that you know that you'll be able to write off being very conservative. Now, you can always adjust this number later if you want to. You can see as you're working your business and keeping track of your deductions, maybe it's mid-year and you see that you already have about almost 15,000 in deductions. You can go back and adjust it to increase it. Okay, so you want to add the 2, right? So it's 15,000 plus 0, 15,000. Number 6, enter an estimate of 2019 non-wage income, such as dividends or interest. So in our case, we're going to say 0. So it's telling us to, for line 7, to subtract 6 from 5, okay? So we bring the 15,000 down. Now, for line number 8. Okay, line 8, oh my goodness. Line 8 is telling us to divide our 15,000 by 4,200. So we get a 3.57, but it's telling us to drop any fraction. So since it's more than 5, we'll round up to 4, okay? So now it's telling us enter the number of personal allowances from line H above, and I can't remember. Okay, line H was 11. So we come back down. So 11, so you want to add 8 and 9. And in this example, we have 15 for our itemized deductions. Now this is for, for our allowances, for our personal allowances. Now this worksheet is for two income earners. We won't go over this right now, but definitely if you have multiple jobs and you need somebody to help you with that, then feel free to reach out. We can get that taken care of for you. So 15 is our total. So then now we will just scroll back up to the top. Remember to keep this worksheet for yourself so you can know what you did. You would fill out all your personal information in here. And then number 5, you would put your 15 allowances. You'll sign it and date it and submit it to your employer. Okay, so let's move this out the way. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope that it's helpful. Definitely, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. You guys have any questions or concerns with anything, get back to the person that sent the video to you. And then if need be, I can help you as well. So again, my name is Alma Nancy. I go by Alma, the CPA. Each one teach one, we can change the world. Have a good day. See you, millionaires.